Fellas, my pleasure to be sitting with you guys, you distinguished gentlemen, you. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Erik Hicks.
Dwayne, Prince Psych, Turrentine, AKA the Golden Child.
Tony Brown.
And Ted Field.
That's that ultimate R&B group we've been waiting for. What's the real reason we get you guys together today?
I think good vibrations, creativity.
Right.
Well, for me, it's the fact that Tony and I and these guys some years ago did a movie called Waist Deep, and I'm trying to, create some kind of new vibe, some kind of new alliance here that would be good for new projects that could, in fact, help get urban films back in the community in the mainstream way. I'm trying very hard to, have some associations like this. And Tony's a guy I've trusted for years. He's been a friend for years. I've known these guys, but we're trying to kind of, get the old group back together, you might say.
What's good about it is the fact that you guys already have extensive careers in what you're about to do, as far as like the production side and the music side and bringing talent together. One of the things that you guys are looking to do as far as urban film, what actual genre within that?
I'm asked a lot, what are you looking for, right? What kind of movie would you like to make? And the answer is, I'll know it when I see it. So I think the way it'll work is that these guys will submit things to my company, Radar, and there's a trust here. And there's kind of a similar outlook on, the urban film market, music market, et cetera.
I believe, Psych, you're actually in the future of it right now. Mm-hmm. Production is that you're doing with your wife. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, we did a show called Surviving that got nominated for a Gotham Award. It was incredible. I didn't even know what a Gotham Awards was. But when we went, it was a great experience, got to meet a lot of great people, and look forward to continue to create content for people of color. And that's what my wife is all about. And so on the series, I executive produced it and did all the music. And we're looking to do season 2 this year.
The one thing that really captivates in that whole situation is the fact that you guys did it yourself. Mm-hmm. Like you went and got the cast.
Yeah, we went on Indiegogo. We raised about $8,000 on Indiegogo. Then we put another $40,000 of our own money into it. Wasn't really looking for a return, just wanted to do something great and create a great content for people to watch. We just put it on YouTube for free. And it didn't really get the numbers on YouTube because it's not a YouTube thing. But I think, greatness doesn't go unnoticed. And Gotham Awards noticed it. We don't even know how. I just say it was a blessing, and I don't question a blessing.
Putting these things together is difficult. That's why I admire what you were able to do on such a low budget. The last time I engaged with someone who had done almost exactly that, his name was Vin Diesel. He had done a $30,000 production at Sundance that he pretty much mortgaged himself to get done. He did it with credit cards, and there was no Kickstarter back then. And he made this film that he wrote and directed and starred in. And I was just blown away. For $30,000, he made something pretty consequential.
Erik, your whole situation in this group or in the band is understanding everyone's position and how they all gel together.
I grew up in the Sunnydale projects in San Francisco, and it wasn't a lot of collaboration. So I had to make the decision to go outside when that opportunity came for me to get out the projects. And shout out to my cousin Tish, because she was very instrumental in that. She's here today, too. And it's one of those things where without collaboration, you have really nothing. So it's always about the team. It's not about I. Like my brother Prince Psych says, there's no I in we. So that's what, when I think of doing something, I always think about synergy. And then that level of cooperation brings about the sincerity to make something magical happen. My brother was signed by Michael Jackson, right? But he wasn't seeking that at all. So that was almost by default. I mean, if you can just tell him that story, and then I think it tends to go along with what I'm saying about.
Yeah, just I was at school. My mom picked me up. She was like, "You going to an audition?" And I'm like, "What's the audition?" She's like, audition. You gotta, you gotta rap. I'm like, well, I ain't got no rap. She like, well, you better make up something, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in the car trying to figure something out because previously first time I ever lied to my mom, I lied to her because she was asking me where I was getting money from. I actually was like making fake crack, things that looked like crack and was selling it. But she said, where are you getting this money from? And I said, well, I'll be down on Colorado and I'll be rapping. And she was like, well, rap then. And so I rapped LL Cool J's, what I saw him do on Soul Train. She didn't know who LL Cool J was. She into Luther Vandross and all of that. So I hit LL Cool J. She was like, wow, my son is good. So I think that put her on the mission, like, we gotta do something with this, you know? So in the car, I'm like, man, I came up with something. It was like, I'm fresh like soap. I'm dope like dope. Boy, you couldn't hang if I gave you a rope. It was something like that, something crazy, but ABC, I did it, and the production company at the time was Mariah Carey's brother, Morgan Carey, and this other guy, I can't remember his name, and they was just like, we want you. So I'm like, all right, cool. Put the group together, fast forward, the guy that I was in the group with knew Michael Jackson. I went to Michael Jackson's house with him one day, and we're like, man, we're a group. You know, he's like, yeah, perform for me. So we performed for him, and he was like, you guys want to get signed quick? We like, yeah, man. He was like, just tell people I want to sign you. So we ran back. Mike said he want to sign us. Mike said he want to sign us. So then we were in Jerry Greenberg's office, jumped all over his table, performed for him, and boom, we signed to Michael Jackson. But the thing about Mike was I connected with him differently. You know, like he didn't speak in that high voice when I spoke to him. Wow. It was something different about it. You know, he would say, you know, he gave me the name Golden Child, Ted. So and Applehead, before Apple computers existed and all of that. So he just was like, you know, he would say like, I love the way you walk, man. It's like, don't fuck with me. And then he'll try to walk like me and just different things. We'll bag on each other. He said my eyes look like quarter slots. I'd tell him his nose looks ridiculous, you know? So, and we'll laugh about it. But what I noticed about him too was he was a studier. He was a scientist. He would study the greats and become greater. So that's what I took from that experience. So going back to what my bro was saying, it's just for him to be the first person outside of my mother to tell me I had talent just meant a lot to me, and especially now that I'm older and can understand what it all is now.
Especially after being able to sit back and see your career and now know where you want to take it to next.
Exactly, because I took a break, and I took a break because it was never about what I could have or what I can get. It was more about who I was becoming as a man. So when I had my kids, I wanted to focus on them. So when I hit my bro Erik, my business partner and manager, and I said, I'm ready to get back in this thing. It's like, now this is what the teamwork makes the dream work. And all of these people are incredible men. And I'm just so blessed and fortunate and have so much gratitude to even be sitting in this position to know that I have these guys who I can collaborate with and work with to make great things happen. So it's truly a blessing.
That's incredible. And we also are in some incredible times as far as social injustice and, you know, prison issues and stuff like that. We're seeing people like Ava DuVernay that are doing like things straight to Netflix on the 13th Amendment. Those kind of things could really transform people's thinking. And now we're looking at films in that way, not just for information crunching, but to be like, oh, you know what? I can be an activist for this particular cause now.
I think you're right, but I do think that there are documentaries which have every right to preach and you know, be very political and do whatever they want to do. And I think, though, that when you're making a film, whether it's going to be released on one of the streaming services or directly to television, pardon me, or theatrically, there's a certain obligation to, first and foremost, give the audience something emotional that they can latch onto. You kind of have a responsibility once you have them there to not be too political, in my view, to not be didactic. I would love very much to make movies that stand the test of time. They have to be of their time, but they need to endure beyond their time.
You know, it's interesting. Erik and I, we talk all the time about making movies, and one of the first things that he speaks about is the spirit of the movie. The spirit, what is the feeling? What is the spirit? What am I touching? What can I create or what can I touch that would affect the audience. You know, and me, I'm up here learning. I'm the student.
Yeah, but you know what though? I call Tony Mack. But the thing is that look, as a film lover, what keeps you engaged?
So films can scare you or they can make you laugh. I mean, it's memorable characters that make memorable films in my view.
But then you have people like Robin Williams, who you've worked with, that bring that to life
Twice.
on a
Yeah,
extra scale.
and what could be more different than the two films we did together? Jumanji, which we're fortunate enough to have Sony appreciate enough to be doing a reimagining, which I am probably under an NDA somewhere in a drawer that I can't really talk about, so I won't. And it's really, I was involved in the original film, and I'm a little involved in this one. But can I say that the difference between that and a film called What Dreams May Come? They were incredibly different. Robin in What Dreams May Come plays a guy that actually is going through hell to find his wife. Literally, the film virtually all takes place after death. And he was a dramatic actor in that film. And in the other film, he's obviously the foil of some fairly crude CGI animals back in the technology environment we were in, hence the desire by Sony to make that a little differently, which we'll see what that is. I can't say anything about it. But I don't think it's about an actor getting pegged to one genre. Why should we, as producers, who are kind of like the coach of the basketball, and Tony was a great basketball player under Bobby Knight, or why should we, as the coach of whatever we're coaching, be confined to one kind of, we need a point guard and we need a center and we need whatever the analogy is. So let's make a variety of different kinds of movies, and I hope you guys bring me that kind of thing, because I don't want to make what we're expected to make. I want to make something unexpected and something that makes humanity come together and not, drives humanity further apart.
That's dope, man.
Togetherness, teamwork makes the dream work.
I just want to say that, you look extra fly right now.
So I'm supposed to call you Golden Child now? I met you as Psych? I'll call you.
This is actually a fly kimono. And
Five
kimonos. And the story about it is I was flipping through something. I didn't know what it was, but I saw Puffy wearing it. Yeah. And Puffy, he always stay up on the fly gear. So I'm like, yo, I need that. Yep. So I hit my bro. I was like, bro, did you see this? I sent him the picture. He's like, yeah, that's fly. I'm like, I need that. He's like, all right, let me get on it. The crazy part about it is after he did his due diligence and it's all family and it's all love, they were actually seeking me as well. Shout out to Kelly Hudson and Tish. It's actually one of those things where you feel global once you put it on. You feel good.
I like that idea.
You feel very good in it.
That sounds like a great way to wrap up. Any last words for you guys?
The culmination of making a change in today's society is really critical. And if we are able to leave anything for those that can take something from this interview, it is being able to keep things simple, stay humble, obedient, recognize our limitations, and manage those limitations. And if we're able to do that, we'll be successful. I don't care no matter what genre, what sport, what business, be successful.
Live in the now. Live right now. Forget what I've done in the past. Forget what any of us have been through. Just literally look at what can we do right now to make worthwhile projects that people will engage with.
This is incredible, man.
And we appreciate Datwon. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate
because you've done so much for the culture.
That's for sure.
And one of the things was, when I talked to my bro, I was like, I'm sure, a bunch of names can come up when you talk about wanting to say something with a group of people that maybe somebody may want to listen to, who knows, right? But I think it, again, takes a special relationship to be able to pull things out, opposed to it just being like, so again, this was a comfort zone. you know, and having you here is our distinct pleasure, and we thank you so much.
I thank y'all because y'all brought the union together for me to be here. So I just wish you guys the best. I already know, and I kind of got a couple of inside tips on some of the things you guys are doing, and it's all exciting.
We're not ready to talk yet.
I know, not yet, but it's all exciting. And
No, it's good. No, it's real good energy. That's all it is.
It's exciting.
It's good
man.
energy.
It's exciting
Good energy.
to know.
What I try to do is back talented people. And I see a lot of talent on this side of the room. And I know that it would be great if both musically and artistically we were able to utilize just a portion of the talent that you guys represent. And so we'll see what evolves. And thank you for the time.
Yes, indeed. Thank
you,
y'all.
Datwon. I appreciate you, buddy.
Pleasure.